What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So let's talk about superhero time, covering Boom Boom Jer episode 47 and Kamen Rider Gavv episode 21. I guess I should have said Kamen Rider Gavv first, but anyways, let's do it. So we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gavv episode 21 because this marks the debut of Kamen Rider Gavv, or rather, should I say, Kamen Rider Bitter Gavv, with the sparking Gumi form. So, to summarize the episode without spoiling anything so much, so if you remember, if you've seen the previous episodes, so Shoma and Dakia have worked together, so Gavv and Ram, to save the people that Ram actually had compressed a few episodes before. So they're all back, and Sachika decides to have this party to celebrate, all those people returning, especially one particular kid named Takeshi who they have been desperately looking for. So everybody's back to normal. So Sachika celebrates, and even though things have turned out well, basically, so Shoma can't really, how do you say, he wasn't really in the mood, so of course Sachika notices it. So Shoma decides, like, you know what, I'm gonna step outside for a bit, and he does, but along the way he faints, and uh, things happen. And then we move to Hanto, thinking about all that's happened recently, if you've seen the previous episode. So he decides to clear things with Shoma and decides to talk to him. So, interestingly enough, just in the nick of time, so he sees Shoma, but Shoma isn't wearing his regular, colorful clothing, but instead we see a Shoma wearing black. So Hanto decides to follow this Shoma only for him to quickly disappear. So this Shoma suddenly shows signs of aggression towards other people, right? So, and it wouldn't really take long for it to make news, and it eventually reaches Hanto, and he is shocked, obviously, to see that this guy is Shoma. So why is he suddenly attacking people? Now, the thing about that is, well, you will find out in the episode if you actually see it. So I highly recommend that you do. So of course, again, Hanto decides to confront Shoma about this. Well, of course, understandably, he is mad about seeing Shoma attack innocent people. So the next day, when Hanto actually decides to confront Shoma, he's different. So we see the transformation into dark or bitter Gavv. So we see basically how aggressive this Gavv can be. But is this really Shoma that we are seeing? We really don't know. Or rather, I prefer not to say in order not to spoil anything. But yeah, so Bitter Gavv is violent. Okay, I have seen a lot of memes, especially coming from Western fans, like comparing this to Spider-Man 2, I believe, when Peter gets a hold of the Venom suit, the infamous, you know, yeah, that meme. So it seems that way, but at the end of the episode, like seeing a trailer or a teaser or the preview for the next episode, so next week's episode 22. So we see Shoma and Hanto working together again, but they're fighting against Bitter Gavv. So what's really going on here? So we have to see for the next episode. Now, again, basically episode 21 boils down to, the debut of Bitter Gavv. So we also see Dakia in action here. So he sees like Shoma and Hanto fighting. So this is like Bitter Gavv versus Valen. So uh Vram decides to join and actually kind of help out Valen, hold off this dark or bitter Gav that we're seeing. And I guess that's the only action that we see from Rakya, aka Vram. But what's really amazing here is how um bitter Gav is depicted. So again, he is aggressive, he is violent, he is, well, yes, he does look like Shoma, or at least Hidekazu Chinen also plays bitter Gav. So like he is a very he is like complete 180 from the Shoma that we typically see, and it does reflect in this bitter Gav's characteristics. So again, like a very violent guy who another thing about the bitter Gav that I forgot to mention, like, well, we see the typical Gav, when he gets damaged, so the popping gumi form. So we do see like bits of armor disintegrate, uh, which again adds realism to the battles. So this bitter Gav, man, he injures himself a lot, and like, like his arms like look like they just completely fall off, and then he just snaps it back into place with the appropriate sound, like cracking of bones and stuff. Which is, I don't know about you, but for a kid show, yeah, body horror. Good job, Toei. So again, it's just really mind blowing. So I would say I'm gonna give Kamen Rider Gavv episode 21 like a 4.5 out of 5. So nothing really special in terms of the story, but again, just like seeing Better Gavv in action, I do like the suit. I do like the action in this episode. So yeah, pretty solid one, 4.5 out of 5. Now moving on to Boom Boom episode 47. So there are gonna be some spoilers, I guess, because I'm gonna have to summarize this episode. So in episode 46, so Shashiro actually comes up with a plan that he proposes to the Hachinian side. So that plan is for Wild Spindo to marry, well, to marry Mira. So, considering Mira's situation, her story comes full circle this time around. Like, we started Boom Boomger with Mira being married off to someone whom she doesn't really love. It was a forced marriage. And then we're coming basically to the end of the show the same way. So she is again forced to marry someone whom she doesn't love. And similarly, like, she's being married off to guys who are up to no good. So if we go back to episode 1, if I remember correctly, so Mira was being married off to a son of a Yakuza. Okay? They do crime. And now she's being married off to basically another mafia boss. So, again, it's really mind blowing to see how Mira's story comes full circle. And in both instances, Taya comes in to save the day. But the real kicker in this episode is that Shashiro is baby. So what has been built up over the past few episodes, like uh again, it's really no surprise in my opinion. So this is where some of the spoilery stuff may come in. So before I continue on, I highly recommend that you catch up on the latest Boom Boom Jer episodes until, of course, episode 47 before watching this next part of the video, because there will be spoilers. So once you're done, you're welcome to continue watching this video. Now with that said, let's move on. So Shashiro returns. The team is back together again. Well, Sakito is actually out, doing his own thing. But yeah, so while we don't really see the bigger picture or what happened behind the scenes as to how and why Shashiro came back, but it was pretty obvious to me. So, this is basically the type of situation where in order to fool your enemy, you have to fool your friends type of situation. Now, again, because we don't really see a lot of what's happened on Shashiro's side, so we focus on the other Boom Boomers. So whether he actually, whether Taya actually knows about this situation, or this was completely Shashiro's idea, all by himself, it could go either way. But I think it's much more interesting or much more realistic if I go with the latter one, in which Shashiro came up with this whole trickery idea by himself. So to get a more genuine reaction from the Boom Boomers, to make and also by extension to make him look even more convincing to the Hashirian. So of course we see him work with the ISA, who have apparently been working with the Hashirian all along. So again, like, you can actually just fill in the blanks from here, right? So Shashiro decides to play a trick on his allies by uh, appearing as if he had, joined the Shirian, and he wanted to show the Shirian that he can be trusted by, quote unquote, taking away the Boom Boomers' abilities or access to their Boom Boom cars, basically rendering them kind of powerless. So, yeah, it was Shashiro's actions that kind of lead to this um, plot. So going back to episode 46, right? So he proposes that Mira should, or Wild Spindle should marry Mira. However, we do see a scene in episode 46 where Mira has this one-on-one talk with Shashiro, but we don't really see what happens. Like, we don't really see the full conversation because we cut to commercial, I believe, or we cut to another scene. So this is probably where Shashiro reveals his plan to Mira, at least. So he wanted to get as close as possible to the Hashirian, learn their weaknesses, and create an opening for the Boom Boomers to attack, and so that they can finally defeat Wild Spindle once and for all. So one of those plans is to have Mira marry Wild Spindle. Well, Wild Spindle thinks that he's got this plan covered by using a special ring to control Mira. So once he puts on the ring, she's completely under his control, at least. So that plan also fails. But again, that's so basically what happened, right? So in order to get closer to the enemy and defeat them from the inside, so this was Shashiro's plan all along. So yeah, he's still very much an ally. And again, Mira, or rather Taya comes in to save the day, and uh, well, Mira, after this scene, like, she knew this plan all along. So or at least the three of them, have been uh kind of, how do you say, like, planning this. Well, at least we could imagine, like, Taya and Shashira having talked about this, maybe in secret. We don't see, but at least the plan worked. While Spindo's weakness is kind of revealed, so that one I'm not really gonna spoil. So you guys have to see how they handled the situation. But again, everything comes full circle. So why did Shashira have to quote unquote betray the Boom Boom Jurors? And like, the purpose of Mira's uh, marriage to Wild Spindle. So we all see it in this episode. And it's actually like a very solid penultimate episode for Boom Boom Jerk, considering that next week it's the finale. So definitely not gonna miss that for anything. So yeah, I'm gonna give Boom Boom Jerk episode 47 a solid 5 out of 5, just because how everything comes, together. Like, even Joe and Gamba had their own moments here. I mean, last week they both showed, at least as a team, they're them working together. But they do have, like, individual moments in this episode too, which are really, really amazing. So again, those I'm not gonna spoil, so that you guys can see it for yourselves. And really, those scenes are very well written as well. So yeah, I really loved the episode 47 of Boom Boom Jur. So with that said, what do you guys think? If you've seen those episodes already, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you next time. Bye.